that Major League Baseball has voted 28-0 to award expansion franchises to Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, I'd like to start by saying that if there was a greater day in the history of Tampa Bay, I don't know what it was. I think this is the greatest day in the history of Tampa Bay.
Here are your Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
I remember having butterflies. I remember being in second base and watching all these people. I was like, it was kind of like the best day of my life.
I vividly remember running out to do my sprints about 20 minutes before game time, and the place is packed and they're excited. It was exciting. It was also a little stressful, knowing that this was the beginning of something.
We mentioned earlier that a lot of the guys are going to be nervous. It's going to take them a while to get settled in, but we're ready for baseball.
Just one of those nights that you never forget.
Tampa Bay, a long and storied baseball tradition dating back to the early part of this century when they were the host of the Boys of Spring. Now they're the host of the Boys of Summer. And the first pitch in Devil Ray history. That will go directly to the Hall of Fame. 32 starts. This one hits the bag and deflects into right field. And Davey Martinez has the first hit. There's a drive in deep to left for Bobby Smith. That ball is gone. Book it. Home run, and the Devil Rays win.
A special Saturday night of baseball for Tampa Bay and the Rays. It was 20 years ago today. The Rays organization played its very first regular season baseball game. Wade Boggs and the boys are back. 45,000 plus were in attendance at Tropicana Field 20 years ago on March 31st, 1998. And many of those members of the Devil Rays back then are on hand tonight. A bridge from the past to the present in Tampa Bay sports history. And we welcome you inside Tropicana Field for what is indeed a very special night of baseball for Tampa Bay sports fans. Welcome in, everybody. Rich Hollenberg along with Doug Wechter, Dwayne Statz, and Brian Anderson standing by with the call of Rays and Red Sox in just a minute. Doug, we were both in that building as fans 20 years ago, but you're a St. Pete native and you pitched for this organization. What are your memories of that night?
Yeah, St. Pete native. I mean, I grew up and I remember other teams talking about coming here. We never had the other teams, the Giants, the White Sox, and finally we clinched it with the Rays. Tampa Bay Devil Rays come here, and I remember sitting in section 308 watching Wilson Alvarez throw the first pitch, and I get chills right now thinking about that. I was a young kid, and the closest major league team was the Atlanta Braves, and to have a team in my backyard to be able to go watch live, play the Yankees, play the Red Sox, you know, play the Toronto Blue Jays, it was a dream come true, Rich. And you know, to be able to pitch for them later in my career, you know, my heart's beating right now and just thinking about it.
Well, a number of those players who wore the Devil Rays uniform 20 years ago are in the building tonight to celebrate. Among them, the Hall of Famer, Wade Boggs.
Tampa Bay, I mean, it's such a rich community of nothing but baseball enthusiasts, and they love their baseball here in Tampa Bay. And you could see opening night was 42,000 screaming people, and had to hit the first home run in Devil Ray history, which is the yellow seat out there. But
I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, the Vegas odds was like 4 million to 1 that I would be the first Devil Ray to hit a home run. But it was so wonderful, and I've said so many times, coming across that bridge that night, coming over to the yard. I didn't have butterflies, I had condors. It was so nervous, and I had 16 years behind me. Right. And we had 23-year-old guys here and 24-year-old guys that had never been in the big leagues. And we're getting ready to get introduced, and I told them, I said, listen, enjoy the moment. This is what big leagues are all about.
A night to remember, but a night to rally for today's Rays as they take the field against the Red Sox in Game 3 of this 4-game series. The retro Rays unis on display. Dwayne Stats, Brian Anderson with the call. We'll see you for the postgame, everybody.
Move into the third game of this 4-game opening series. Andrew Kittredge will head to the mound for the Rays, and it's one of those bullpen games for the Rays. Kittredge, the right-hander, will get the start. Here's the lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. For Boston, Mookie Betts leads it off, followed by Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi will play center field and hit in front of Hanley Ramirez, the DH. J.D. Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, and Mitch Moreland down the middle. Eduardo Nunez at third base will hit seventh, batting in front of Brock Holt, who's at second. Sandy Leon will do the catching.
Well, and Andrew Kittredge got some time last year with the Rays. Appeared in 15 games, put up some very good numbers, a 1.76 earned run average in 15 in the third innings of work. Did a lot of good work down in Durham too, by the way. Overall, a good 2017, had a nice spring training, and here tonight he is Kevin Cash's man for this bullpen day, at least the guy to start it off. After that, it's going to be all about the matchups and finally see this bullpen day come to fruition.
So we're all set to play baseball with Betts in there. 1 for 7 in the series so far, and takes the first pitch. That's a strike, says Andy Fletcher. So we are underway. Manny Gonzalez at first, Jeff Nelson umpiring at second. He's the crew chief, and Laz Diaz down at third. That's a strike. Rich quickly jumping out in front. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Betts had a base hit in the game on Thursday, and his last at bat was on base once last night on a walk. Puts it on the ground, and Echeverria is right there throwing a strike to Miller. And that's the first out. One up and one down.
The important guy for the Rays to control there. Mookie Betts, keep him off the bags. Let's take a look at the Rays defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we're going to have Smith, Kiermaier, and Gomez. And the infield across from third to first, Duffy, Echeverria, Joey Wendell getting his first start out there, and Brad Miller with Jesus Sucre behind the plate tonight. A different look for the Rays.
Yeah, all the way around. Donning the Devil Rays uniforms.
That's right.
1-0 the count to Benintendi. And there's a strike. Fletcher this spring, for a guy who spent his time in the bullpen, got some extended outings in the spring. A couple of times beyond the 2-inning spring stint. All of that in anticipation of what we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, and all of these guys, you think about Yanni Chirinos, you think about Ryan Yarbrough, they are and have been extended as far as they need to go. So when these guys come into the game right now, it's Andrew Kittredge, they will be holding nothing back. Just air it out and know that you've got reinforcements coming in behind you. That's what these days are going to be all about.
Foul ball will run the count full. Benintendi 271 last year with 20 home runs and draws a walk his first time up. So after a couple of 0 for 4s to begin the year, he draws a walk his first time up tonight. And here's Hanley Ramirez. Coming off a 2 for 4 game. Kittredge misses up and in.
Kittredge keeps things pretty simple. Fastball, slider, aggressive pitcher. Doesn't like to waste pitches, challenges hitters, good velocity. We've seen it already, 94, 95.
Ground ball charged by Echeverria. One at second and the other one at first on the 6-4-3. Echeverria, Wendell to Miller. We go to the bottom of the first. Rays are coming in to hit. Hero in the season opener, and in the lineup, the DH leading off tonight, to be followed by Kevin Kiermaier in center and Carlos Gomez in right. Brad Miller hits cleanup, followed by Matt Duffy and then Joey Wendell. Danny Echeverria is at short. Malik Smith at left hits seventh, and Jesus Sucre behind the plate bats ninth.
Well, taking the mound here tonight for the Boston Red Sox going to be right-hander Rick Porcello, looking for a bounce-back season. 2016 Cy Young Award winner, and a year ago did get over 200 innings, 203 and a third, but the record of 11-17, 4.65, not like Porcello, especially what we saw from him back in 2016.
Here's the first pitch, and Span takes it down around the knees for a strike. Yeah, what a contrast for Porcello from one year to the next.
Oh, he really changed the type of pitcher that he became. You know, that he was, I should say. You know, he was a heavy sinker guy. You know, put the ball in play. He'd rack up some strikeouts, but it was sinker, sinker, sinker. Good ground ball rate. Last year had his lowest ground ball rate of his career, highest number of home runs given up in his career.
That seems logical, doesn't it?
Distinct core. Went to the elevated fastball, which is a pitch that really in the last couple years has taken off. We've seen that across the board. But you go from a good sinker ball guy to the guy that's throwing a lot more elevated fastballs, and that transition did not go very well.
Ground ball on the infield. It's handled by Bogarts, who is on the right side of second, and he takes care of that. So it's technically a 6-3. One away. We'll show you what we were talking about when you look at Porcello and the reversal of fortune he went through last year.
Oh, there it is. You know, home runs. That was a big reason. I think two things really hurt him is early struggles in games. You know, his worst ERA was in the first inning, getting off to a slow start. And then, of course, the long ball. I mean, 38 home runs given up.
Kiermaier takes the ball. You know, interesting point. I'd like to get your take on this, too. Here's a guy who was extremely successful, essentially throwing a lot of sinkers.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the elevated fastball. Now, in a day when you get a lot of hitters trying to lift the ball with that uppercut, it's difficult to get on top of an elevated fastball if it's elevated enough. But you know the old story about sinker ball pitchers and how they live on that edge. If that sinker ball is just a little higher than it needs to be, that's danger territory. And I guess here's a sinker ball pitcher who, if that elevated fastball is not elevated enough, it got into that danger zone. Fly ball to left, and Martinez takes care of that.
Well, and it's just an interesting, the timing of the change was interesting. You're coming off of a season in 2016 where you were 22-4 with a 3.15. You win the Cy Young Award, and then all of a sudden, now listen, incorporating something new is one thing. But I think that it was one of those things that really, at the end of the day, when you go back and look at the entirety of the season, maybe it was taken a little bit too far. And I think that was probably realized. One of the reasons being is, you know, there was Derek Lowe came back into camp for the Boston Red Sox this year to work with Rick Porcello, another sinker baller, I think, to kind of get things back on track.
Chop down to third. Nunez whips the throw to first. Gomez is out, and it's a 1-2-3 first. We go to the second, no score.
more. Well, the untimely injury of Nathan Eovaldi leaves a question mark in the Rays rotation. Obviously, today is a bullpen day with Andrew Kittredge starting, but Kevin Cash said he is not expected to go more than 55 pitches. They will still have another bullpen day on Monday in New York at Yankee Stadium. Pitching coach Kyle Snyder said obviously not overworking guys is a concern, but the most important thing right now is communication. He wants to make sure the pitchers are transparent with the staff on how they feel and when they can pitch again. Guys.
Thank you. There's a chop down to third and a nice pickup by Duffy. That's a nice play. You know, we've seen him just in the couple of games already make some nice work down there in third, and there's another example.
This is a tough hop, and you can see how he gets behind it with the backhand, watches it right into that glove, and then makes the nice throw over there. But you're absolutely right. He's made a couple of nifty plays, and that is not a very comfortable hop for a third baseman. Actually, for anybody.
It didn't seem to faze him. And here's Xander Bogaerts.
Going back to what Michelle was talking about with Kyle Snyder and listening to these guys and needing that open line of communication, you'd better be able to know your pitchers too, know them very well, because there's not too many guys that are going to tell you, hey, I can't go anymore, or I'm hit that limit.
Yep.
These guys are young. They want to establish themselves. They want to pitch. They've got that type of mentality. So there may be some times where they tell you one thing and you know better.
Yeah. That's why a manager can't ask a pitcher about coming out of a game, because he'll lie every time.
At least he better.
Yeah.
I mean, if he says, hey, listen, I'm tapped out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, good. We'll tap you out.
But now I'm starting to wonder about what's beating inside that chest.
What do we have
because
here?
you're right. Most guys are. They want to stay out there.
How do you feel? I feel great. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Don't believe them.
No.
Now, when they become broadcast partners, they're very trustworthy. Somehow they leave that on the mound, that other element.
Well, got you fooled then, so I'm doing my job.
3-1. Uh-oh, that ball is pretty well tagged back to the track, and that's going to go out. Smith got back a couple of steps on the warning track, turned and watched it sail out. Bogaerts, who had 2 doubles his last 2 times up in the game last night. Boy, he's having an unbelievable series. He belts the home run here to make it 1-0. So off to a great start.
Boy, the 4-seam fastball, you can see it just doesn't have the elevation, not far enough away, and Bogaerts right there at the belt gets into it. Pretty much a no-doubter off the bat. You know, you think about him a year ago, only 10 home runs, a lot of ground balls, not a lot of balls in the air, not a lot of extra base hits, and already this year 4 doubles and a home run, and we're an inning into the 3rd game.
The strike to Mitch Moreland. Well, it's as if Bogaerts didn't like what he heard last year, some of the criticism, wondering where the slugging went. Well, we're seeing it early here this year. Two.
You know what? This was a team that was the Boston Red Sox dead last in the American League a season ago in home runs. You bring in JD Martinez, and all of a sudden, if you get a guy like Bogaerts, who had 10 home runs a year ago, you know he's capable of a lot more than that. Some other guys starting to chip in here or there. It becomes more of a traditional Boston team.
Yeah, there were a lot of ground balls from Bogaerts, and that was a concern, especially, you know, if you're playing at Fenway, which is just a doubles haven, and Bogaerts really was a ground ball bat last year. Significant change so far this year. Kiermaier's right there in center to handle that fly ball from Mitch Moreland. 2 gone. Red Sox with a brand new manager, Alex Cora. He was the Astros bench coach. hired about the 3rd week of October by the Red Sox. Nunez, the ball, no strikes. The Red Sox were eliminated by Houston, and 2 days later John Farrell let go, and Cora, not too much longer, was hired.
Well, think about some of the managers. Just look within the American League East. You know, the two teams that are deemed the favorites. You've got the Yankees and the Red Sox. They both go with young, first-time managers. Aaron Boone up in New York, he's had 0 coaching experience. Alex Cora, he's never been a manager. And here these two guys are going to take over what many believe are the 2 favorites in the division. On the job.
2-2 now to Nunez.
Now, there's just so much back and forth now between upstairs management, the analytics, the metrics, and the line of communication down to the manager, that they feel like these guys can step right in and still do a tremendous job with a lot of expectations.
Nunez chases that one out on strikes. First strikeout for Kittredge. 1 run on the home run. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. 1-0 Boston.
Back as the Devil Rays, and with me is Roberto Hernandez. Bert, congratulations to be here, and congratulations to be a part of this team. What was the experience like that first year for you?
It was exciting, a lot of emotion, a lot of firsts. So, but the thing that we get out of it that is the enthusiasm, the fans that came out, you know, to support this organization at that time was outstanding, outstanding.
I tell you, and another thing I remember, you know, here too is they had a great representation of Hispanic players too on that original team. When you think about it, Orlando Arroyo, yourself, Wilson Alvarez, Miguel Cairo, they did a good job of really implementing what was to be now it's a very prominent Hispanic players in the major leagues.
You know, we had a lot of Hispanics. You know, there were some that weren't big names like Ramon Tatis, a left-handed out of a bullpen, but you know, we try to implement, you know, as veterans to go out there, play hard, play to win, and let everything happen on the field. Don't worry if we're outmanned. You know, the game's played out there, you know, and we gave it all.
You know, you were an all-star reliever and obviously one of the first star pitchers for this team. I talked to a lot of the guys on the field, Randy Wynn, Miguel Cairo. They appreciate it so much. The veteran guys, leadership, the guys that already have been around the big leagues. Did you come in with that feeling that you needed to not only play, do good, but also, you know, give back to a lot of these young guys that they had?
That's how I was brought up. You know, I had guys like Carlton Fisk, Jack McDowell, Robin Ventura, Ozzie Guillen, and Bobby Thigpen. You know, I learned from them by watching and listening. So what I learned from them, I try to pass it on. And, you know, a lot of the young guys then appreciate it. And some of them now realize, well, what we did as a group collectively, you know, Fred McGriff, myself, Wade Boggs, Dave Martinez, is to pass along our knowledge and our tutelage to them.
Hey, listen, today's bullpen by committee, which means, you know, we may need an arm out there and just for a couple of innings. How are you feeling?
I can maybe throw an inning, but if they bunt, I'm done.
Dwayne, there you have it. You remember this guy.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, big guy.
Yep.
Back to you, buddy.
Yeah, when you had a lead late, you didn't want to see that one get away, and that's what he was all about, Roberto Hernandez, holding that lead and closing it down for you. One strike to count to Matt Duffy with Brad Miller caught looking with the first out, and now it's 0-2.
When Porcello did a nice job of changing speeds on Brad Miller and now dotting up that fastball on Matt Duffy down and away.
It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And you notice, obviously it's still early, but Porcello working that bottom third of the zone, trying to wear it out in the early going here.
2-2. Well, the message in the spring not lost on him.
No. Oh, and you know what? And I'm sure that's something that you go back in the offseason and reflect on and say, maybe I went to that well too many times. It doesn't mean you'd never go back there. Still can be an effective pitch. But he has made his bones in this game at this level with the sinker, working down in the zone. You want to pop one up occasionally. You're going to catch guys by surprise. You will get the swings and misses and the pop-ups, but you don't need to live up there.
Went from winning the Cy Young Award to going 11-17. Led the major leagues in losses. A 2-2 count to Matt Duffy. Lifts it toward left center, and Benintendi will come in to close and make the catch. Had some hang time. 2 gone. Now Joey Wendell. Wendell, the left-handed bat, dividing time at second with Daniel Robertson. Wendell's been a guy who has had to battle for everything he has attained in this game. He was not a big-time prospect as an amateur player. Hey, there's a nice catch down in front of the bullpen. Planted both feet right there to make the grab.
That's
nice going.
Much more like it. Line drive, line it up. Almost let that thing get a little deep. But much better end result than we saw the last couple of days.
Yeah. Gaining the confidence of the bullpen members down there.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. So far, just quiet.
Pressure's some seeds.
There's a rhythm that he develops in the bullpen down there. Seeds. But when that pitch is ready to be made, seeds go down. Glove in proper position, ready to go.
Just like a fielder.
Yeah. See?
Just like a fielder. Anticipation.
Yep.
Be in proper form.
Ooh, strike 3 call. Couple of called third strikes in that inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays, and we go to the third. 1-0 Boston.
Ball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Tampa Bay Rays. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Andrew Kittredge on the hill. 28 pitches through the first 2 innings. And here's Brock Holt taking the first pitch down. Holt, the number 8 hitter. Back active. He had a difficult time a year ago, over the past year plus. High fly ball to left. That's Malik Smith making the catch. So with 1 out, the bases are empty. Orestes with another guess.
Yes, hey, thanks, Dwayne. This is Wilson Alvarez de Maracucho de Maracaibo, Venezuela. Man, it had to be very, very special to be an opportunity to be on this team, be handed the ball first game, and be a part of this. What are your memories?
It was great. Little nervous, I tell you that. No, I'm like, come on, throw strikes. Finally, I did. Finally, I did. You know, after 20 years. But it was great to see all the guys that I played with, especially Roberto Hernandez, Orlando Gomez. You know, all those guys. I really have a great time with them. It was great, and I mean, I really appreciate. I want to thank you to the Rays to give me the chance again, and happy to be here.
You know, it's pretty special that you get such a great turnout from everybody, and they're all smiling faces, great memories, and they all wanted to participate and celebrate, you know, 20 years of this. It's kind of neat. I'm sure some guys you haven't seen in a long, long time.
Man, 20 years, man. It's a long, long time. But it was great to see all these guys here. Even you, man, even you, right here. And I went out there and they like, come on, get on the mound, get on the run. But I'm, no, come on, man, I can't make it. I can't make it to the home plate. I better get up front of the mound and make sure I throw the ball over the plate.
Hey, Richie Garcia was back there. Mike DeFelice this time. That pitch was right there. He should have called the strike the other time. I don't care. First pitch, I don't care where, unless it hits the hitter. But today was outstanding. You felt good? Did you warm up?
No. Well, you know, I'm coaching and I throw batting practice every day, so I'm all right. From 40 feet, I can do that. From 60 feet, I can't do that anymore. But it was great, man. Richie Garcia, Mike DeFelice, all the guys, man. It was a great moment.
You stayed in the area like a lot of the guys that played on that team 20 years ago. Many of them stayed in this area. You're in the Sarasota, Bradenton area now. You're coaching with the Baltimore Orioles and tutoring a lot of these young minor leaguers.
Yep, I really enjoy what I do. I mean, rookie ball level, especially those Hispanic kids. You know, they need help when they come here to the state for the first time, and that's my job, to help them to develop, to get better. So hopefully they get a great career in the big leagues, and so they can take care of their family. So they, you know, that stuff. And I really enjoy what I do.
Wilson, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for being a part of the history of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, brother. Back to you, Dwayne.
All right, thank you very much, Orestes. Wilson Alvarez, who started that first game 20 years ago today for the Devil Rays. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Made a good adjustment 20 years later.
Yes, he did.
Brought that ball up a little bit, worked the top of the strike zone, got the call this time.
Yeah, and if you give an umpire a chance, he might call it a strike, and Richie Garcia did. Liner into left. That ball will be out of the reach and one hop that low wall. Malik Smith watches it bound over that low wall for an extra base hit. And with 2 outs, Betts is aboard at second.
Well, just hung a little bit, trying to go down and away, and you could see that pitch spinning, staying up and in the middle. That's a bad area. Mookie Betts able to pop that ball down over the low wall and give his team a chance here with 2 outs.
Andrew Benintendi walked his first time. This pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, overall, I thought Andrew Kittredge has been throwing the ball well. He made that one mistake to Bogarts, left it out over the plate where he could get his arms extended. One mistake there on a slider, but still, you're one pitch away from getting out of this inning. And giving Kevin Cash and the Rays, or excuse me, tonight the Devil Rays, exactly what they were looking for here in this bullpen day start.
Well, in the pitch count, you know, he's just over 40 right now.
Yeah.
Pitch count, that's very good. There's a strike. Sucre ready to fire back to second if Betts took too much of a liberty.
I think these guys that are going to pitch on days like this and try to give you some length. So we were saying earlier, I don't think you're going to see them pacing themselves. They're going to go out there and attack. Try not to waste pitches. Be as efficient as they can and attack that strike zone. Trust the game plan.
It's coming in on Benintendi. Kind of fought it off to stay alive. Still 2 strikes.
You know, and what's going to be interesting too, you know, you get a guy like Kittredge that's going to be announced as the starter, and depending on how Alex Cora or another manager lines up, you know, his lineup, you know, too many lefties, you know, all of a sudden Ryan Yarbrough, you could see him coming in right after Kittredge, and it's really too early to make any wholesale changes.
Again, back to second this time. That pitch up, and Betts is back in there.
And all you're trying to do right there is keep Betts close to second base. Allow, you know, just another foot or 2 closer to the bag. You can see he's getting an aggressive secondary lead, anticipating a base hit and trying to score. You're just trying to keep him a step close, give yourself a chance if Benintendi gets a base hit.
Yeah, Sucre just trying to shorten him up, calm him down a little bit.
That's it.
Now 2-2 to Benintendi. Oops, fly ball back toward the corner. Gomez making the run, and that's going to be a foul ball. Boy, that looked to be trouble from the time it left the bat. Gomez had a lot of ground to try to cover, and it was just foul.
Well, the trajectory did not look good when it left the bat. However, the pitch speed just a little bit out in front, and it just continues to hook, 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 and drop. I mean, a few inches, a couple of inches.
Yep. At Fenway, that works out for Benintendi.
Absolutely, that's gone.
Yeah.
Well gone. But here,
it's fair and gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Just it is there. So 302 down the right field line there.
Wraps right around that pole for sure.
Yep. Two again, and a full count. Well, he went 3-2 with Benintendi in the first and walked him. This is the only hitter he's had a full count on. He has had a 3-1 count on a couple other hitters and still has managed to keep the pitch count pretty good. 3-2 now. Roller to the right side for Wendell. He'll make the play to first, and a man will be left at second base. 1-0 Boston. TV all season long. Sign up now through April 2nd at T-Mobile.com/MLB. One nothing ball game. Boston scored in the second, and Danny Echeverria leads off the third for the Rays. First pitch is down. Echeverria, 3 career hits, 3 for 14 against Porcello with a double and a home run. The chopper foul, 1-1. The matchup that's interesting in this one, well, a couple of them. Span has had pretty good success through his career against Porcello. 13 out of 35, which is about a 370 plus clip. And Brad Miller is the other one. That is a foul ball and out of play. Brad caught looking his first time up. He has 11 hits off him in 37 at bats. 11 hits, 4 doubles, and 5 home runs.
Wow. Wow.
And you know, and I know for a fact that Brad's well aware of that, and you know that Rick Porcello is very much aware of that.
Well, that's why you saw the sequencing that you did. Everything at the bottom of the zone, a lot of back and forth with the sinker and the changeup, which is what he ultimately fooled him on. A changeup that just kind of locked Brad up. He'll obviously log that away, and sometimes you have these matchups against guys for whatever reason. They see the ball coming out of your hand better than some other pitchers. Sometimes you can't stay out of the middle of the plate against them, and they hurt you every time.
Towering fly ball, not overly deep, back into center, and Benintendi waits. That's the first out. We'll check in with Orestes one more time. Oh.
Hey, D-Wayne, thank you, man. Here with a good buddy in Albie Lopez back in the day, one of the originals. Albie, welcome back. And I say welcome back because you told me earlier you have not been here in exactly 20 years. So it's been a while since that first season. What are your memories?
Man, it's good to be back. I love the dome. I love seeing the lights. I love seeing the catwalk. Most people hated the catwalk, but I'm a big fan of the catwalks.
Yeah, well, why? Because you trying to take advantage of that with some of those high fly balls a little bit, or?
Yeah, the fly ball. It's just so unique. It just makes the ballpark. I love it.
Well, listen, you pitched in so many different teams and situations, and I know you came here along with 4 or 5 of the other guys here that kind of not only were playing in the major leagues, but tutoring a lot of these young kids. There were so many young Kairos and Randy Wins. What are your memories of the mix of that team from back in 1998?
You know, myself coming from the Cleveland Indians, a winning organization, I kind of wanted to instill that winning formula. So coming here with the young guys, I wanted to preach, let's win, let's win, let's win. And we had that winning attitude where, hey, if we're gonna lose, let's lose the right way.
And what are you doing now these days, Albie? I know you're back in Arizona, your beloved AZ.
I coach youth baseball, 18U. I play in these perfect game tournaments. So every weekend I'm at the baseball field.
Well, man, that's awesome. Also, one other question I wanted to ask you. I know that you're tight with our main man, BA, Brian Anderson. In fact, I think you guys have, lived together. Any BA stories you might be able to share for us?
Oh, man, I knew BA when he had hair.
That's number 1 right there. That was a while back.
Brian Anderson used to think he was Bret Michaels. He thought he was Bret Michaels from Poison.
Oh, yeah. So he was a rocker. Well, actually, he's actually still thinks he's a rocker, by the way.
He has no hair. How can he was an 80s band back then.
There you go, guys. Hey, BA, that's your boy right there.
Yes.
I'll be sure.
Listen, I see what I'm just wondering. I actually wondered early on why Albie didn't come to the booth.
Yep.
But it probably is for the best, because if you get us together,
I don't know. I mean, we were willing to give it a try.
Oh, I would have loved it.
I spent a little time with him early. I said, you got to come up and see your guy.
Listen,
and he was agreeable. He was absolutely agreeable to doing that. So we're going to have a couple of the Devil Rays come by in the next inning or so. And he was not on that original roster, the list to come by. I said, by all means. Said BA would be hurt if you don't come by.
He's got to make it up here.
Yep.
Somehow he's got to make it up here.
Absolutely.
Listen, we too much quality time together. We lived together. The first house that I ever bought, first time and only time I lived on the west side of Cleveland, and Albie moved in with me. And let me tell you something.
Now, let me tell you, I know enough to know
that if
you guys write the book, I want the movie rights.
Oh, it's that good.
Yes, it is.
It really is that good. And sometimes you look back, you think back, and you wonder how we still here.
Yeah, BA and Albie.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Some good stories. Some good stories. Well, and we were both in that Indians organization, and ironically enough,
pitching rich at that time.
Absolutely. And so he ends up down here with Tampa Bay. I end up out in Arizona with the Diamondbacks.
Strike 2 to Sucre.
And the rest is history. But boy,
the rest is indeed history.
Yeah, there was a time there, a couple years span in Cleveland, where we had the run of things from October until, well, actually before that.
Telling you, I want the movie rights. I think we could probably make a deal.
I like how he was remarking on how he liked the catwalks.
Yes.
Like to come back here, see the lights, the dome,
yeah,
and the catwalks.
Yeah. They all go together.
Yeah, maybe not here, but yeah, they do all go together in places.
Yeah, 2 outs in this inning. Somebody hit a home run and then pop one up, and then we'll be safe. Little tap foul. Sucre up here. Jesus Sucre in this 1-0 ball game. Difference so far is the Bogarts home run in the second. Rays facing Rick Porcello. Rays have Ryan Yarbrough up in the bullpen, the lefty. Sucre giving Porcello a battle here. Fouling another pitch away. There's the young left-hander. You know, he's another guy who came here and saw the Devil Rays as a kid. Came to games here. And the trip over from Lakeland.
Well, think about it. You know, and I know Doug Wechter was talking about it. You know, before the Devil Rays, it was the Atlanta Braves. Geographically, that's the closest thing. All of a sudden, you put a Major League Baseball team here with as much love for baseball there is in the area, and what a thrill! I'm sure everybody was making their way over this way.
There's Doug Wechter. You know, little executive session there, and there. Okay, the Tony Dungy, that could be an executive session, but Doug Wechter, the way he's dressed.
No, there are so many questions that need to be asked about this particular photo.
I might want the movie rights to that.
You know what? I'm telling you right now. I mean, between the get-up, the nature of the friendship.
There's a fair ball by Span up the left side on the first pitch, moving Sucre up to second. Span sliced down on that one and got it fair for a base hit up the left field line.
Listen, extend the inning, keep things alive. There's Doug again. Obviously, much better dressed now, but yeah, you have to go back, and it starts with the tank top.
Yeah, like it much better with the tie and the shirt.
No socks though, but I love that. I love that look. I love that look. There's you have the socks on, then when you take them off, you got all the ripples down your calf. It looks awful. It's awful. So, no socks, fine. The tank top opening day, not.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier. It's a strike. You realize that we're only 3 days into the season. That's one thing about having such a great crew.
I'm just
in numbers. You know, it's great.
I'm trying to.
Somebody's going to get it, you know, every couple days.
That's it. That's it. And I'm trying to get that first phone call out of the way from management before the end of the weekend. Just a little warning. Just ease up, tap the brakes.
Yep. Yeah, they're ordering new notepads with you know, the memo.
The yellow legal notepad.
Oh yes, chopped by the mound and right at the bag at second. Bogarts fields it to step on the base. Braves lead 2. We go to the 4th. It's 1-0 Boston.
Wayne, 20 years ago, the inaugural Rays broadcast team led by D. Wayne Stats. Still there, Joe McGrain, partner, Paul Olden, Charlie Slows, the best of friends.
Yes, they were indeed. You could tell how much they like one another right there. Oh my goodness.
That is tremendous.
You know, before this thing gets completely off the rails, we better refocus our energies here. First pitch is down and away to Hanley Ramirez with Andrew Kittredge on the mound. See, Truck's not helping with things like that. I mean, you and I will do fine by ourselves. We don't need any help. But now they've thrown that in there.
No Todd.
Yeah.
No Todd.
Yeah, no. Well, you know him. He disappeared. He showed back up though. So
I bet he did. Wet hair at about 2:15 a.m.
Oh my! See. Down to third, and they get it by Duffy up the left field line. Ramirez makes a turn and heads to second. Just got it by the diving Duffy. And so the Red Sox, just like that, have a scoring threat.
Well, that was once again that ball hard hit. Matt Duffy, a great effort to try to get there. The dive backhand can't do it. Another slider that stayed up and out over the middle of the plate, similar to the pitch that Betts hit down into the corner. You know, you start to see those breaking balls spin and stay up. You wonder if Andrew Kittredge now is approaching the end. I mean, he's closing in on that 55 pitch mark.
There's J.D. Martinez. Pitch is a strike. Martinez retired on a nice backhand play down at third in the second inning. Matt Duffy made that play. One and one. Slater off the plate. And again, no offer. That pitch broke out of the zone. 2-1. J.D. Martinez. What a year last year with Detroit and Arizona. 29 homers in 62 games with Arizona. You talk about turning it up. More runs batted in than games for them. 65 RBIs in 62 games.
That's incredible. The run that he went on. And to think that it was just a few years ago where he was just released by the Houston Astros. And it wasn't like the Houston Astros at that point were a juggernaut.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Wound up at Detroit. They found the offensive side of things up there, and Arizona, boy, last year, some year. Now counted on in Boston to pretty much serve the DH role. He's in left tonight. We have a full count here.
Well, what makes him so dangerous too is he's not an all or nothing type slugger. He's been able to put up some good seasons batting average wise, on base percentage, on top of the power and production.
Chopped to short. Echeverria makes the throw. That's a big out right there for the Rays as Kittredge comes back to get Martinez, and now Kevin Cash will come out of the dugout to get Kittredge. Xander Bogaerts is due up. He's had a red-hot series, and so the Rays will make a pitching change. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. the cash scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery, celebrating 30 years of winning with their biggest scratch-off top prize ever, $15 million. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. Well, the Rays go to the bullpen. Kittredge goes 3 1/3. Plan was about 55 pitches. He made 57. Gave up a run and leaves a man at second base as he departs in favor of the young lefty Ryan Yarbrough. Xander Bogaerts, who is red hot, first man to face Yarbrough. 13-6 at Durham a year ago with a .343 earned run mark, and this guy throws strikes. And the pitch is a strike to Bogaerts. Well, he's off to such a hot start. You can see the difference. BA all season last year against the Rays, only 3 extra base hits. He has 5 already in this series.
Yeah, think about that. 2 doubles game 1, 2 doubles last night, a home run here tonight. He did a great job of game planning for him a year ago, but so far he's got the early jump on this Rays staff in 2018. Still a lot left to play though.
Runners taking off. The pitch popped up foul. Miller digging hard. He got it. Miller. What a play by Brad Miller, sliding on his back and corralling that pop foul on the dead run, and he hit the deck and made the catch.
Well, you know what I love about that play, Dwayne? First of all, he's the only guy that's going to be able to make it once that ball gets to the apex, but he throws the glove out at the last second. He doesn't run with the glove out, still running like an athlete, and then slide and get it out there right before it hits the turf. A very difficult play to make, especially with that low wall lurking.
He's challenging the low camera down there as well. How about that? That's a great play by Brad Miller, coming all the way in from first to get a very hot hitter in Xander Bogaerts.
You got to get a stat cast on that, on how far he had to run to track that down.
That's exactly right. Here's Mitch Moreland. And boy, you get Bogaerts has been swinging the bat the way he has in this series, and now you go lefty on lefty. Yarbrough against Moreland.
Well, that's why these matchups back and forth. You know, Kittredge does his job, needs a little help from Yarbrough, but Kittredge picked through the ball very well, giving up just the one run. And now all of a sudden Yarbrough comes in, a completely different look for this lineup. You mentioned it earlier. He does not waste a lot of pitches. He pounds the strike zone.
Well, came to camp very much in the running, not necessarily a lock to make the staff, but he pitched well. And with the strategy to have these bullpen days, he fits right in.
You know, we talk about the Rays and how are they going to manage these bullpen days. You know, we haven't really looked at the other side. You know, how's the Boston Red Sox lineup going to manage this bullpen day, where you may be a hitter that your first 3 at bats you see 3 different pitchers.
Yeah, and that's part of the strategy of this. And they love to be able to start, in this case, Kittredge, a right-hander, and then come back with a lefty. You flip-flop those guys.
Think about it. Kittredge, you know, the 4-seam fastball, the slider. Then you go to Yarbrough, not going to overpower you, but he's going to move the ball around the zone, keep you off balance. And then maybe you go to Yanni Chirinos, a heavy sinker. You've gone right, left, right, 3 completely different styles, and those are your first 3 at-bats of the game. Uncomfortable for an opposing lineup.
Two on the count on Mitch Moreland. Too close with the fastball. That's about where he lives with that fastball. 90, 91, somewhere in there. But placement very important. And he doesn't give you an early look either. Bogaerts hit the home run in the second inning, and that's been it in the scoring department. Rays left a couple men on in the bottom of the third. 2 gone in the fourth. 3-1 the count. Moreland on the ground, foul. That runs it full. Brad Miller making the start down at first base. He's making a great play on that foul ball by Bogaerts. Long look by Yarbrough. So long that Moreland steps back. Six-year-old lefty.
You know, you can see Mitch Moreland has his little routine there at the plate. He gets himself ready, tries to stay in rhythm, and then you start to feel stale, and you're asking for time. And now the Rays are going to use one of those precious mound visits.
Yeah, there you go. So the count's going to be down to 5.
I still can't believe that we have a graphic for that, but I guess if it's going to be counted and logged right there, you're putting that right in the book. Or the index card, whatever it may be.
So now the 3-2. Runner takes off, and the pitch is a little low for ball 4. Moreland draws the walk.
Not paying a whole lot of attention to Hanley Ramirez back there, and he got a full head of steam. And on that walk, able to get over to third base.
Yeah, so technically a steal for Ramirez. That equals his total of a year ago. So that is the element of surprise in his case.
Some of those guys, when you know they're not a base stealer, not someone who's been identified as a base stealer, at least not in the last couple of years, you have that tendency to ignore them. Worried more about getting that hitter.
Nunez at the plate, and the pitch is wide. The ball, no strikes. The Rays in the game last night used 4 pitchers. Rowe for a third, Alvarado an inning, and Andres the last 2. And they have the bullpen night tonight. They got 3 and a third from Kittredge. Yarbrough trying to end the top of the 4th. He takes a shot, misses a little wide, and he's behind Nunez.
Just a little bit of nibbling going on right here. You can understand there's a lot of nerves getting your first taste of the big leagues in a game that counts, a game that matters against a very good lineup. But right now, just living off the edge.
Moreland over at first with Ramirez at third. Yeah, you can see Yarbrough being cautious. One of the things they like about him, normally speaking, he's aggressive and confident with his control and command. It's a little tap, third base. Duffy, even with the bag throw, and the dirt pops away. The run is going to score. That makes it 2-0 as Moreland moves to second, and Ramirez able to get into third, translates into a run, and it's 2-0.
That's where that steal becomes big. So many more opportunities and ways to score on anything other than a base hit, and a nice job by Duffy to get there initially, get that little backhand, nice hop, and then just kind of spikes that throw. We've seen Brad Miller here in the first couple of ball games make some nifty scoops down there to bail his infielders out. This time it comes up on him a little bit. Right off the heel of the glove, he cannot secure it, and unfortunately that leads to a run.
An error charge to Duffy on the low throw. So Nunez reaches, the run scores. Moreland's now at second. 2 men on, 2 men out for Brock Holt. Holt lifted a fly ball to left his first time. First pitch strike. One of the things the Rays think coming out of spring training, their defense will be solid, but it has hurt them here in this inning. It's a foul ball and it's 0-2.
Yeah, how many times have you heard someone from the Rays organization talk about the return and the refocus on run prevention?
Yep.
And that was something that this organization lived by for the longest time. Last couple of years, you look for a little bit more offense, maybe not as much defense, but making that turn back.
It's so important to have. I mean, a run's a run. A run scored, a run prevented. The final analysis, that's what you're trying to do. Trying to collect bases and score runs and hold the opposition as much as you can and help your pitching. Protect that pitching as much as you can. So for Kittredge, 2 runs, 1 earned run. And now the 1-2. Holt taps this one foul. Kittredge made 57 pitches, 3 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. He struck out 1 and walked 1. Gave up a home run to Bogarts in the 2nd inning. Kyle Snyder looking on, the Rays' new pitching coach. And that strike 3 call got him looking at the fastball. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, and when we come back, we're going to have Quentin McCracken in the booth with us. 2-0 Boston. In 1998, Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and Quentin McCracken, a very big part of that team, to be sure. And here's Quentin in action right there. We're happy to have him and a number of those Devil Rays back. Quentin has graced our booth with his presence. Good to see you. You're ready to play center field again?
not with this busted up knee. I'm barely getting around on a knee and a half, so I'll pass on that.
Well, it's great to have you here tonight to be a part of this celebration and in the booth. You know, that was, you know, a great year in a lot of ways because it brought Major League Baseball here to Tampa Bay, and spending time with you and some of your teammates. The one thing that I think that impressed me more than anything else is that that team was dedicated to battling every night, whether it won or lost, and you're going up against some tough teams in the American League East. There was no quit in that team.
No, definitely not. I mean, that's the one thing that I think as a unit we realized that you know, maybe pound for pound or talent for talent per position that we were maybe a little undermanned, but because we had a roster composed of guys trying to cut their teeth at the major league level with some veterans like Wade Boggs and Fred McGriff and Paulie Sorrento, Wilson Alvarez kind of sprinkled in. So you had some guys that came from various organizations who were getting an opportunity to establish themselves as major leaguers, and we took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, and as a young outfielder here, you I think you led the team in hitting and total hits, stole a few bases, and had a great first year and actually a nice run here with the Devil Rays.
Yes, we did. We were pretty fortunate. I will forever be indebted to the Rays organization for giving me the opportunity to come in and compete for an everyday gig, and we were able to secure that spot there in '98, and it was a great year to kind of springboard from, to be a part of you know, an organization's first, and to you know, try to establish yourself as a big leaguer. What more could you have asked? And as I said, we had a lot of guys on that roster that were kind of cutting their teeth at the big league level, and we were able to not only cut our teeth at the big league level, but to do it as a unit, competitive unit. I mean, most of the baseball world, the industry, kind of predicted that we would lose 100 games. We didn't lose 100 games, so that was one thing that we you know, held pride in, and BA being over with that opposing expansion team. I know there was a competition to see who would or wouldn't, who'd win the most games and who wouldn't lose 100 games. And of course, I'm referring to the Diamondbacks organization. And but to come out with the guys, the majority of the guys who returned today, and go out and compete and put together a very competitive first-year team was thrilling.
Well, speaking of first, I mean, you had the first at bat for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, you know, hitting leadoff. Take us through the emotions of how you try to calm yourself down going up there for the first time in front of a packed house.
Oh, well, you know, it was an exciting crowd. You know, I know the Tampa St. Pete community had worked for many years to bring a major league franchise here to the St. Pete area, and to get an opportunity to get the organization started off, which we hope was in the right direction, was truly an honor. But to dig in as the first Devil Ray batter and the first starting fielder for the organization, it was, like I said, it was truly an honor.
Yeah, you're trying to get on base for Boggs and McGriff and those guys. Let them drive you in.
Yeah, absolutely. Table setter. That was the job.
That's those top 4 or 5 guys. You think just coming off. You got the table setter. You got the guy with some speed, handle the bat, get on. Miguel Cairo, good handler of the bat. Absolutely, hit behind you. You know, hit and run type of guy. And then you've got the middle of the order. Nice little setup right there.
Yeah,
coming out of the gate.
Yes, it was. You know, unfortunately, things kind of played out where we had good pitching. That bullpen was one of the best in the American League East, and you know, we scratched and clawed for some runs that year. Wish we could have scored more runs for those guys. I think we would have won a lot more games if we were able to manufacture some more runs for our starting pitching. But you know, we left it out there. That's one thing that I can say. We were fundamentally sound. You know, Larry Rothschild and his coaching staff did an excellent job preparing us to go out and compete every day, and you know, we followed their lead. We went out there and we left it out on the field, and you know, I think most teams that we played, they knew that they weren't in for an easy W that night. They knew that we were coming to play and we were going to leave it out there.
Yeah, I'll say this: it's been a fast 20 years. It really has been a fast 20
that it
years.
has. That it has, Dwayne.
You know, you play it, and then you went into essentially the management side and the valuation, coming off a good run in Houston, and now with the Marlins. Fly ball into center. That's Benintendi waiting. Wendell is out of there, and so the Rays are finished with a man left and no runs in the fourth. Quint McCracken, great to see you. You look good as ever, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Dwayne. BA, thanks. Thank you.
There's some of your teammates right there.
High strike. You lefties.
Ball game moves into the fifth inning. Sandy Leon goes after the first one and pops it into shallow right. That ball's going to be tough, and it's Gomez who comes in. Boy, both Miller and Wendell out there having trouble with that, and it appeared even for a moment that Gomez had overrun it, but he corrected at the last second out there to make the catch. You see Miller tracking it. Wendell, nope, and Gomez there to retire Sandy Leon. Well, you don't want that to drop to start an inning. Keep that leadoff guy off the bases. And one away.
Dwayne, I would have loved to have chipped in on that play. I thought you did a tremendous job.
Thank you very much.
Without question. But just, you know,
it's a pitch high.
Wrapping things up with Q.
I got you. Yeah. It's great to see him. I ran into him downstairs on the field, and what a great guy. Just outstanding, and just realized that a couple of these former Devil Rays are living in Katy, Texas. Fly ball to right, and Betts he's the second out as Gomez retires Betts. So we'll get a chance every once in a while during the off season. We get over there and run into a couple of these guys. It's good to know.
Well, I was asking him what gym does he belong to out in Katy, Texas, because I have driven out there.
Trip.
I have made that trip, and it's funny because he said, you know, I don't belong there yet. However, it's the closest. I know exactly where you're talking about, so I may get a workout in.
There you go. 2 quick outs in the fifth as Benintendi takes the pitch down. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Benintendi with a walk in the first. It's a 3-0 count. Yarbrough got some help when he got Bogarts back in the 4th inning. Then he walked Moreland, and Nunez reached on an error. A run scored. Holt caught looking. A couple of quick outs here in the 5th. Way behind Benintendi, and there's a strike 3-1. Count is full.
A really nice pitch right there, and you could see it right down in that outer corner, bottom third of the zone. Get yourself right back in the count. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Upstairs. So after falling behind, he goes full and then loses him. 2-out walk to get Ramirez up there.
Boy, so many times, you make that 3-1 pitch and you put it in a perfect spot, and then all of a sudden 3-2, you're going back with the same pitch and you try to make it just a little bit nastier, and you end up overthrowing it, coming out of your mechanics maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, it can be frustrating because you've used up all those pitches.
Yep.
Worked your way back. Now you have a chance, and you lose him.
Wait, trust me, you think about it. You think about that. You're like, really, a 6 or 7 pitch walk? I mean, if you're going to do it, just do it. Don't come all the way back. That's frustrating.
Hanley Ramirez in the batter's box. The pitch is a strike. Boston scored a run in the 2nd on the Bogarts home run. Scored in the 4th when Ramirez doubled, wound up stealing 3rd, and that turned out to be a big steal because he scored on an error on a play that would have been the 3rd out of the inning. That would have kept it a 1-0 game. Instead, it's 2-0. Echeverria right there to Wendell for the force. A man left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-0 Boston. We're headed into the bottom of the 5th inning. A little look back here at some of the Mike DeFelice power.
Oh,
going oppo right there.
Yeah, thank God for that bullpen.
And Mike DeFelice is going to join us as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. That was impressive.
They were all
power
quality.
right there.
They were all quality.
Yes.
It wasn't about having a bunch of them, just to be able to remember enough. So I think I did okay. 3, I can remember all 3 of them that year.
Echeverria chops it down to third, even with the bag, back of the bag. Nunez one-hops it to first. That turned out to be quite a play to get Echeverria. Nunez off balance and got it to Moreland across in time.
Yeah, I think realizing he's not going to have time to set his feet, so just make the grab and get it on its way and rely on your first baseman to be smooth around the bag, and that's exactly what we saw. Nunez, whose first couple of games out there at second base and in place of Dustin Pedroia, who's on the disabled list, tonight over at third in place of Rafael Devers, who's not in the lineup.
So one away, and here's Malik Smith hitting eighth in the Rays lineup, facing Rick Porcello, and this one's going to get through just beneath Bogarts into left, and so the Rays now have some speed aboard.
Now let me ask you this. Okay, you're out there catching right now. Malik Smith, you know, he's a good speed guy, base stealer. What is your mindset right now? Base hit the left, and your pitcher out there on the mound, are you starting to hone in on Malik Smith already and thinking about the potential of a play at second base?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that all starts, you know, before the game too. Who, you know, we point out who our base runner, who our base stealers are, who the phantom base stealers are. Who's the base stealers that think they're base stealers that might just try to sneak one in with 2 outs. But definitely he's a guy that we got to worry about. You know, and it's hard to, you know, you try to make the pitcher as a pitcher. You know, you remember, you know, trying to not, you know, you need to be quick. You know, give you know, I told them, you know, give me a chance, and I'm, you know, I'm going to try to do the best I can for you. And I, you know, I think we
you did a nice
that
job.
enough.
Yes.
Ooh, close over there. You know, we spent a little time earlier together today with a group of the 98 Devil Rays, and you know, it occurred to me that number one, all of these players from all of these different places came together in '98. Spring training, you know, you're a catcher, and when camp opened, before position players, you're there with over 40 pitchers in camp. How do you sort through all of that as a catcher? You know, it's tough to come into any place new, but much less with 41 pitchers.
It was a big task, and there's no secret. You know where I was. I was in the bullpen the whole time. You know, that's the only way to learn these guys is to go out there and catch them. It was a little bit more difficult that year, is because we had 2 sessions. We had a morning session and an afternoon session, because it was I think we had probably what 80 guys in camp. So you know, how do you get to get all of them? I think there was a few days there where you know, you're kind of doing double duty just so you can start catching those guys, because they kind of rotate them. You know, everybody thought, okay, if you're in the morning camp, then you're the guys that are going to be in the big league team. But you know, they tried to break it up, and you know, it was a little tougher on me and Flash to be able to go out there and get those guys under our belt. You know, especially if they're, you know, if we're always in the morning camp. So we you know, it was it needed to be done, and it was a big task, but I think we handled it okay.
Yeah, and the communication is key. You know, not only catching all these guys, but then picking their brain. I mean, there's so much time that is put in between pitcher, catcher. Obviously, you guys get the brunt of the work.
And one hopper, and it cannot be handled by Holt. That would have been a heck of a play had he come up with that. Everybody's going to be safe, and the Rays now with the 8th and 9th place hitters reaching. Smith at second and Sucre aboard at first. Will swing back around to the top of the order with something cooking here.
Well, the bottom of the order for the Rays getting it done. This ball has a little funk coming off the handle of the bat, and Brock Holt not able to come up with it. Tremendous effort, but that's a tough hop and a tough body position.
Brian, you're right. You know, I mean, it's the basics is that, you know, what kind of pitches you throw, what do you like to do, but you know, we had to dig a little deeper.
That's right.
And as a pitcher, you know, sometimes that information wasn't always offered. So it was more, you know, what kind of personality, you know, what can I go out to when I go out to the mound? What am I going to say to you? Are you the type of guy that that I need to kind of, you know, be a little bit more aggressive with, or you know, some pitchers just don't like to have that. You just need to kind of massage it a little bit, and all those things kind of factored in. And you know, I think me and John, you know, really tried to put that together over that long month and a half, just especially with all those guys. And you know, obviously as it started narrowing down in spring training, then you got your core guys that, you know, you can kind of you dig a little deeper than whether, you know, you throw a fastball, you throw a slider, you throw a changeup, what do you like it. So and that's the stuff that I miss as a you know, as the next player, all those little strategy things.
Well, you were one of the guys too, and having been, you know, your teammates at a couple of different stops, you were not afraid to, if you needed to go out there and light someone up. that was kind of where you tended towards. So you'd almost have to call the dogs out because you're one of those guys where you don't like what you see. You're going to let that pitcher know.
Yeah, I mean, 20 years later, you wish you could probably maybe grow up a little bit. There's certain guys that I kind of went out there, whether they knowing that they couldn't handle what was about to happen. But you just that was a passion of the game. It was a passion that I kind of had, and maybe it was just like, okay, I'm going to play every 4 days or whatever. I'm going to get my 2 minutes of fame. But I think I hope that all most of my staff, they knew it was what I was saying. It was because I cared about our pitching staff. They knew that it wasn't something I was just making up. That I had their back, and I was going to try to do whatever I could to help them get through that game or get through those situations. But yeah, there's maybe a couple times I could have probably been a little bit easier.
Yeah, you didn't massage too many
I was
situations.
pretty blunt to the point.
Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, listen, you're in the heat of the battle. I don't have time to, to take me out to dinner and kind of let's back. No, you just tell me what's up, what you need from me.
Well, there was times we would go out there and just kind of, everybody thinks it's just catchers and pitchers. We're going out there talking about, hey, where do you want to go? You want to go to steak tonight? You want a burger or whatever? But then it was business. There's times sometimes it was just to break up the rhythm. You guys are, you're out there. You might not know. You were always a pace guy, man. I mean, you went on the mound. You wanted to, there was no wasting time with you. And those pitchers are, the pitchers like that, they're easy. Why lollygag out there? And sometimes just a reminder of just getting back and just get in and everything will kind of fall into place.
Well, Porcello got a big strikeout on Span, and he's ahead of Kiermaier here. 1 strike. Pitch comes in a little closer. Amazing how quickly a team can develop the camaraderie that has, in this case, stood the test of 20 years, because seeing all you guys back together again, it's fun to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It's just a great day to be able to see guys, like you're saying, as far as keeping in touch. Sometimes you don't always keep in touch, but in that fraternity, and that was such a big growing year. It was probably the closest knitted team that I'd been on, because we came from so many demographics, so many different teams, so many levels. We had our Wade Boggs, the guys that playing for a 16-year world championship. You got guys that are maybe getting an opportunity to be in the big leagues for the first time. I was a guy that just was fortunate enough to, with an injury, to play my rookie year with the Cardinals, and it was just building that family from day one. And I think we kind of talked about it in a round table, but at the end of the year, like Tony Saunders said, it's like you didn't want to leave.
Yep.
What are you guys going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Is it we're done until next year?
Yeah, you start out with guys who don't know a thing about each other, and by the time the season's over, you're close friends, and it's lasted a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, Kiermaier fouls out to third, and the Rays will leave too. Mike, great to see you again.
It's great to see you again.
And don't be a stranger.
Oh, I won't.
Guy who started the double Rays and finished in a Rays uniform. Is brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by your local Ford dealers. reunion of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays being honored. Some great photos there as you see the group returning. Pre-game ceremonies. Wilson Alvarez back to throw out the first pitch tonight, and Mike DeFelice doing the catching.
Oh, he was a beaut. He was a beaut.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Not much has changed.
Well, J.D. Martinez leads off the 6th. Drives it toward right center field. That will be in there. Bounding off the wall. Good carom. Throw back into second. It's not going to be in time, however. And it's a leadoff double for J.D. Martinez. Took it to right center with some authority.
Well, this fastball away, but J.D. Martinez, tremendous plate coverage and power to all fields. And you allow him to get his arms extended, even if it's down with that uppercut swing, he's able to drive it, and it's perfectly placed. Splitting the outfielders. And an extra base hit to lead off the 6th.
Now it's Xander Bogaerts who's been red hot. Pitches down, took a great play on a pop foul back in the 4th inning to retire him. A great play by Brad Miller, who's playing first base tonight. Bogaerts homered in the 2nd inning. And it's second with nobody out. We're in the 6th. Whoop, shot back toward the corner and left. That 2 hops the low wall and kicks back toward Mallex Smith. Martinez will score back-to-back doubles as Bogaerts cruises into second. And it's 3-0. How about Bogaerts? He had 2 doubles last night. That came on the heels of 2 doubles and a single Thursday. And he has a home run and a double tonight.
Well, that looked like it was a changeup that just stayed up and out over the plate. And when you've got a guy like Bogaerts that's swinging the bat as well as he is in the early going, those mistakes out over the plate, I mean, the eyes are jumping out of the head. They see that pitch up there, and another extra base hit.
So back-to-back doubles to begin the inning. Kyle Snyder talks it over with Yarbrough. Andy Fletcher out to hurry things along. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 5-3. We got 2 off Betances in the 8th. Tyler Austin a pair of home runs for New York. Luke Maile stole a base in that game for Toronto. So if Luke's stealing bases, they're probably going to win.
I read somewhere where Kevin Pillar stole second, third, and home all in the same inning. So it would just attract me up there.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Listen, if that happens, Luke Maile, you go, everybody goes.
That's right. It's a ball and a strike. Maile making catchers proud by stealing bases. Here Yarbrough trying to prevent the Red Sox from adding to this 3-run lead. First 2 runs came against Kittredge. 1 earned run. Kittredge gave up the Bogaerts homer in the 2nd. Yarbrough's given up back-to-back doubles in the 6th inning, producing this run. It's 2-1. Rays have been out hit 5-4. first, back of the bag. Miller is going to make the play, and on that play, Bogaerts advances, moves into third.
Well, now you've really got to bear down. Moreland with that ground out is able to move the runner over to third with just one out. Already down by 3. You obviously don't want to fall any further behind, and so you're going to see right here Yarbrough try to work the bottom of the zone. You bring the infield in to cut that run off at the plate.
Nunez in the batter's box. Strike one. He reached on an error in the 4th. Officially 0 for 2. Rays playing this game with a bullpen day. Figure to have another one when they're starting the road trip following tomorrow's wrap-up game with the Red Sox. Pop foul, carries out of play. Ed Nunez reaching on that off-speed pitch.
Well, you got an anxious hitter up there. He sees that infield pulled in. He's trying to get the ball in the air to the outfield to get that run home. And now you're able to get him to 0-2, so you can start to think about the strikeout and how you want to go about getting it. Got to protect.
Yeah, Nunez about the most aggressive hitter in this Boston lineup, to be sure. Upstairs, Hanley Ramirez can be a little aggressive up there, but Bogaerts makes him look disciplined sometimes. Nunez pops it up. And Duffy is there to make the catch. So 2 gone. Well, trust your gut. Pick the right player and get one step closer to winning $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. There's Brock Holt. Upstairs. Ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Yarbrough entered the game when he faced Xander Bogaerts in the 4th inning. So this is the 4th hitter he's facing for the 2nd time in this game as Holt fouls it away. 2-1. It's a little bit low. 3-1. So Yarbrough has not been able tonight to be as sharp as he usually is.
Yeah, every time that you've seen him pitch, you know, because he's not overpowering and can't pitch, you know, effectively from behind, you do see him attacking the fringes of the strike zone. But tonight it's been just a little bit off, and those borderline pitches like that, when you haven't been locked into the zone the whole time you've been out there, they're not going to go your way, and so that ends up being a walk. And this is where you start to wonder, you know, how long do you go with Yarbrough as far as pitch count? And if he's not going to give you as many outs as you would hope for, this is where you start to eat into that bullpen day.
Yep.
And with another one lurking on Monday, you know, this is where you can get into some trouble.
Well, Kittredge faced 13 hitters, and this will be the 14th hitter faced by Yarbrough as Sandy Leon steps in there, hitting from the right side. A strike. So hitters faced and pitch counts will be very important in this bullpen day approach.
By all parties, you know, the starters, the 3 starters right now are going to have to be efficient in their outings, because if they somehow, you know, come out earlier than you would hope, that's going to become a part of a bullpen day. And even the guys that are participating in that, it's just going to take a lot of efficiency on the Rays pitching staff to make this thing work. Not a ton of room for a lot of hiccups. Let's put it that way.
Yarbrough's jumped out in front here. 2 strikes. Way upstairs. Reach by Sucre to corral that one. 1-2.
Yeah, that ball took off on Yarbrough and almost was able to sneak by Sucre, that runner at third base. That would not have been good.
Bogart's doubled and a run. Another extra base hit for the Red Sox shortstop. 2 for 3. He's now at third. Bolted first. And the pitch is down. 2-2.
There's just been a lot of deep counts. You know, a lot of Yarbrough nibbling, trying to get guys to expand, to chase. Boston's done a pretty good job of not doing that, forcing him to work harder. I think a lot of that has to do with nerves. You know, I think that you're going to see him get better and better each and every time he goes out there.
The pitch is chopped foul.
One thing to get it done in spring training, completely
Altogether
different animal.
different, yes.
When you see the bunting out and realize this is the big leagues and this matters now.
And now ball 3, and he has another 3-ball count. This one full up on Sandy Leon.
Oh, and here's the thing too, there's nobody warming up, so he's got the next couple at least. Hopefully he can make a pitch here and put an end to this.
This will be the 50th pitch of this outing for Yarbrough. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Leon. 3-2 change. 1 run scores. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Boston. run came in the second on the home run by Xander Bogaerts. He's having quite an opening series. The other run scored when Nunez hit this ball that allowed Ramirez to score on the error, throwing error. That was after Ramirez had stolen third. Back-to-back doubles by Martinez and Bogaerts again in the 6th inning led to the other run. So 2 runs, 1 earned charged to Kittredge and a run charged to Yarborough. And the Rays coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to get on the board against Rick Porcello. There's Gomez taking the first pitch for a strike. Miller next, and then Duffy. Close to Gomez. Carlos 0 for 4 last night. A walk and a run scored Thursday and an 0 for 3 days. So he's looking for his first hit. Takes a strike.
Now this Rays lineup looking for a way to finally break through against a Boston starter. I mean, between Chris Sale and David Price, they were held scoreless, and so far same thing here tonight.
Shot to center field. Benintendi will go back. It's over his head. One hops the wall, and Gomez will head into second with a double. His first hit for the Rays in a double Rays uniform is a 2-base hit.
Well, promising start here in the bottom of the 6th. This pitch stays up. And those are the pitches that tend to hurt Rick Porcello. It flattens out. And Carlos Gomez, he's a strong guy, able to power that ball out to deep center field. And the Rays are off and cooking.
Well, there's Brad Miller. You know, it's a 3-run game, and Miller, with his history against Porcello, if he can do some damage, there's a ground ball foul. Rays want to at least get on the board here. And as we mentioned earlier tonight, Miller has 5 career home runs off Porcello and 4 doubles. So you'd like to see that trend start to pay off. Red Sox got some action up in the bullpen. Too high to Brad Miller. It's 1-1. The numbers we're talking about. Sky, third base side. Nunez gives it a little look and a partial chase out of play. It's 1-2. Souvenir. Carson Smith is up in the bullpen for Boston, and Heath Hembry up as well. There they are. Two and two. Third time through the lineup for Porcello now. He's in the mid-80s in pitch count. And that is a strike call on the corner. Well, you can see the reaction by Miller. He took that pitch and was hoping for ball 3, but it's strike 3 instead.
That's exactly the body language I was thinking of too. You're just right here. You get locked up because the pitch was perfectly executed. You peek back. I want to see that.
Well, that's the first out. Second time that Porcello has got the call third strike on Duffy, or on Miller, as he makes the first pitch to Duffy and misses 1-0.
Well, he's taken that matchup seriously here tonight, knowing the damage, the extra base damage that Brad Miller has done off of him, and he's executed his pitches, changed speeds, changed eye levels very effectively against him, as well as the rest of this Rays lineup. These starters for Boston have come in with a very good game plan against the Rays lineup and have executed.
Yes, I was going to say they've really executed too. You know, it's one thing if they're making mistakes and the Rays are missing them. The Red Sox starters have executed. Ground ball, it's going to go through the left side. Gomez had to wait to see if it would go through, and so he advances to third only, and it's first and third. Duffy is 2 for 3.
Now Duffy finds that 5-6 hole on the left side. And here it is. That sinker not quite down and in enough. And Duffy able to get on top of it and hit it hard enough to get it into left field.
Well, Joey Wendell is due up. And that's going to be it for Rick Porcello. Red Sox are going to make a call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Ticket package in town. Save up to 50% off the single game ticket price and receive 5 lower level regular season tickets for $98. For a limited time, get a 20th anniversary pint glass set presented by Dex Imaging with each pack purchased. Visit RaysBaseball.com/flex. Rays up. 89 pitches for Rick Porcello. He leaves with a couple men on and a 3-0 lead. Men at first and third. Joey Wendell will be the hitter against the new pitcher, Heath Hembree, who was in 62 games a year ago.
70 strikeouts. Did give up 10 home runs. Opponents averaged 289.
Wendell pops it back at third, slicing toward the stands. There's a quick look at the night for Rick Porcello. Couple of strikeouts of Miller looking 2 of the 4.
And you know what? We saw him, for the most part, working down in the zone. You know, moving the ball in and out, but working down in the zone, trying to entice that weak contact, balls on the ground. A few at-bats he tried to exploit the fastball up, but kind of back to what we expect out of Rick Porcello.
The fly ball the other way. Martinez backs up. He's going to make the catch. A tag at third. Gomez will cross the plate. The throw towards second, and the Rays are on the board to make it 3-1. Joey Wendell driving in the run with a fly ball to left. So the Rays pick up at least one, and the deficit now stands at 2. Danny Echeverria. Echeverria 0 for 2. First pitch is a strike. Oh, 2 now. Embry with that fastball. I've been registering 94. He's 95 plus a lot of the time. And heavy fastball slider.
That tall, lanky frame. Try to create late movement. 2 different planes.
Into the dirt. That will advance Duffy up to second base as the ball skips away. A wild pitch charged. Now the Rays have a man in scoring position. We'll see if they can take advantage of that.
Well, the last 2 misses by Hembree have been way off. That fastball that he yanked, and he did the same thing trying to go back to the slider. See the grip, and it just never had a chance. And neither did Sandy Leon.
Now here's one thing to think about. The Rays have finally scored a run off a Red Sox starter. That sacrifice fly driving in Gomez, and that charge to Porcello. Neither Sale nor Price gave up a run. The Rays did all their damage Thursday in that 6-4 win against the bullpen, and lost 1-0 last night. Trailing 3-1 right now. But this is a great opportunity to see if they can take advantage of the wild pitch moving Duffy up to second base. In the dirt, bounding away, but Leon will make the throw to first to complete the strikeout of Echeverria, and the Rays get one, leave one, and trail by 2. Our Toyota inside look coming up. Well, in 1998 for the Devil Rays, Davey Martinez got the first hit, a base hit. Wade Boggs hit the first home run. Devil Rays started 10-6 and finished 63 and 99. 16 games in, they were 4 games over 500, and that was the best an expansion team had ever done. They peaked early.
Yeah, that's. You don't feel very good if your high water mark was mid-April.
Yep.
But did avoid that 100th loss.
Yep.
And I learned that was important.
Line drive off the bat of Betts, and right there is Malik Smith.
I was interviewed when I was with the Diamondbacks, and the same kind of question, what Quentin McCracken was talking about, wanted to avoid 100 losses, and I was asked about that, and I quite frankly, very Mike DeFelice style, said, listen, we lose 100 games or 99. I'm not going to sleep any better. I mean, it's an awful year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, Buck Showalter cared.
He cared.
And he let us know the next day, without naming my name, kind of lit me up in front of the entire team about how it does matter. And he was not real happy with that particular interview.
You know, the interesting thing about that, no one wants their name associated with a 100-loss team. 99, and nobody ever mentions it. But you lose 100. Oh, yeah, you're on the team that lost 100. And it never goes away.
See, I look at it as I'd like to have my name mentioned wherever. 100 law, 100. Who cares? It got mentioned.
Well, okay. The dean talked about you a lot at school. You got called to the principal's office. He knew your name. See, this is that kind of thing. You don't want that.
Yeah, that's true.
1-2, the count had been intended.
But you know what a challenge.
You give people fake names when those things happen. That's.
I'll tell you my go-to when we're off the air.
Okay, I can't wait. 1-2, check swing, foul ball. The Rays still have the left-hander Ryan Yarbrough out there,
and still quiet in the bullpen.
Upstairs, 2-2. So he's up to 57 pitches. That was the pitch count run up by Andrew Kittredge in 3 1/3. 3 innings right now for Yarbrough. And a chopper foul. Rays did get on the board in the 6th inning, so they've cut the deficit to 2.
You'll see that balls and strikes break out there by Yarbrough improve as the season goes along. You know, he's a guy that does pound the zone, usually can find the safe areas if there really are any.
And a cut and a miss. Quick with that delivery, and he strikes out Benintendi.
A little bit of cutting action almost. See how he gets on the side of that baseball, 87, 88 miles an hour, and it just runs away from Benintendi. Nice pitch.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have great focus on that pitch. That's nice.
That is, especially with his that arm angle. Benintendi probably thought he was right on it and just ran out of bat.
Now it's Hanley Ramirez at the plate. He has a double and a run scored. Takes a big cut right there and misses. Strike 1. Look at this. He's got the kick going. And that uppercut. He was trying to hit that one a long way. 1-1. Ball 2-strike count with a foul ball. Rays and Red Sox wrapping up the series, and for the Rays, the homestand tomorrow. Jake Faria is scheduled to pitch for the Rays. Little number to the right side, caught by Miller. So it's a 1-2-3, 7th inning stretch time, 3-1 Boston. Inning. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from the Rays starting pitcher Jake Faria, and it's a Kids Sunday Demo Day. Those are fun. Great viewing for the youngsters. A few tips on the finer points of the game. And the wrap-up game of this short homestand to begin the year. Well, let's see what the Rays can do in the bottom of the 7th inning. Malik Smith to lead it off. Nunez in very close at third. Keith Hembry on the mound, and the pitch. There's a breaking ball in there. Throw that curveball once in a while.
A lot of times early in the count, too, to get just what he did, a leadoff strike, jump out ahead. And you see where Nunez is, what you're talking about, because of Malik Smith's not only his speed but his ability to lay down a bunt.
1-1 count. One of the Rays would love to get that leadoff man on with some speed to create some havoc out there and build a little bit of an inning here against the Boston bullpen. Soft fly ball, not too deep to left. They had Martinez in. One away. Hey, the Republic Bank Draft Room, a good spot exclusively for Rays season ticket holders, blending hospitality and comfort and offering local craft beers and signature food items. Tropicana Field's premier destination, exclusively for Rays season ticket holders. The Republic Bank Draft Room. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to learn more. Jesus Sucre. Pitch is down. 2-1 the count. Strike, and it's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gray with the count at 2-2 and is out on strike at just a little piece of that, a foul tip. Two gone. Well, back around to the top of the order.
Now that brings up the lefty Denard Span. You wondered, we saw Bobby Pointer warming up once again. He's warmed up in every game this series. Maybe this was the spot for him, but so far.
Well, we saw him in the spring. So far in this series, he's been the designated decoy.
Oh, without question. He's up getting ready.
He'd like to get in the game. He made the team out of spring training. And shortens on the bat, takes the pitch down. Not pitched beyond the AA level. Pointer.
The lone lefty out in that pen.
There he is. Young man out of Wellington, Florida. 2-0 over in Palm Beach County. How about that? You go to camp, you never pitch above AA, but you're left-handed, you got a breaking ball, and you can throw a strike. You got a chance. Still trying to get into a game, but he's made the team out of spring training, and there's a lot to be said for that.
Especially when you're talking about a team with such high expectations.
Yes.
You know, they don't have time to mess around and nurse guys along. They got to go with guys that they feel like they can help them win from day one. And so that's obviously a credit to the job that he did in the offseason, getting ready for spring training, and then coming in and getting the job done.
Strike call. 3-1. And that's in there at the knees, so the count is full. 3-2. See how close this pitch was.
Well, you saw that superimposed strike zone. It was just off the edge. Well, he gets the call.
Yes, he did.
Now, does that go, you know, onto the ledger on the positive side for pitch framing of Sandy Leon?
Probably
does. He got that call.
Probably does. And there is ball 4. He did not offer. So after all of that, Span draws the walk. He's on for the second time. Kevin Kiermaier's due, and we're going to get a call to the bullpen right here. Red Sox are going to go for the lefty. Call to the bullpen brought to you by the Florida Lottery. On the rookie left-hander making his major league debut, Bobby Pointer. See, last year at A-ball and AA.
Yeah, good numbers. I mean, 84 strikeouts and 16 to third innings, an opponent's average of 177. Different ball game here. And the tying run at the plate.
Kevin Kiermaier to face him. The first pitch is in there, a strike. Pointer, pitcher number 3 for Boston. Off the plate in, it's 1-1. Romo up in the bullpen. Now the 1-2 count. Pitch fouled back. Fastball hitting 90 that time.
Boy, the last couple of fastballs have been right there. That fastball down and in, and Kevin Kiermaier put a good swing on it, fouled it off. That fastball up and out over the plate. Not exactly where Pointer wanted it, but he's gotten away with 2 in a row.
2 outs with a man on. 1-2 pitch to Kiermaier. He pops it up. Third base side. Nunez handles that. No runs, a walk, and a man left, and we're headed into the 8th. 3-1 Boston. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Freedom Boat Company, the freedom to be on the water without the hassle of boat ownership. And by your local Honda dealers. On to the 8th. Back out there is Ryan Yarbrough. Yarbrough's pitch count a little over 60 as he begins the 8th. Faces J.D. Martinez. That's a strike. Martinez led off the 6th with a double into right center field off Yarborough, and that led to the 1 run given up by the Rays left-hander. Ball 1 strike. And a big cut to miss makes it 1-2. After that pitch up a bit, fouls it. Well, the Rays got 57 pitches from Kittredge, and now you see Yarborough starting to push 70 with Romo up in the bullpen. Two. Strikeout and walk ratio, something that normally will be a little better than that. Into right field, that's going to get down and fall for a base hit. 2 hops to Gomez. Martinez has his 2nd hit of the night. Well, the Rays got a run in the 6th. Tried to start something in the 7th, but they've closed to within 2. And they don't like to see the Red Sox with a leadoff hitter aboard to begin this inning, especially with Xander Bogaerts, who's red hot, about to step in.
Well, and as a pitcher, you know, what you're looking for is weak contact. You know, if you're not going to strike somebody out, miss the barrel of the bat. That's exactly what he did to a big time power guy. Ball got in on him a little bit, but he's able to soft serve it out into right field. Can be frustrating, but he can get a ground ball here too, just as quickly.
No, Bogaerts opened the scoring with a home run. It came in the 2nd inning. Doubled in a run in the 6th, scoring J.D. Martinez. That was against Yarborough. Kittredge gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, and 1 run allowed by Yarborough. There's a strike, and it's a ball and a strike to count.
And both of those pitches were up in the zone and out where Bogaerts could get full extension. You start to think about that little cut fastball working its way in. We just saw it, and if you are going to go away, you've really got to focus on that pitch being down.
Three hits allowed by Yarborough, 3 given up by Kittredge. Each team with 6 tonight. Liner into right. Gomez up with it. Stopping at 2nd is Martinez. And the first 2 men are aboard. So back-to-back singles to open the 8th.
This pitch, it's away, not really up or down in that mid-range, but look at Bogaerts.
He's hitting everything.
He is. I mean, you've got to be in a perfect spot to try to get him out right now. That was not a bad pitch at all, but he lengthens the swing. We've seen him do that a couple of times in this series, and he's hitting the ball all over the place. That ball shoots out to right. How many has he pulled to left? Some in the middle of the field.
sends one into center. Kiermaier there to make the catch, and the runners will hold at first and second. So they get Moreland on the first pitch for the first out. Here comes Kevin Cash. They get down to Eduardo Nunez due up, and the Rays will make a pitching change. So Ryan Yarbrough will depart, and the call to the bullpen is brought to you by the Florida Lottery. Grill, fresh catch of the game. Outstanding defensive work here. That's a great sliding catch in foul territory. Our Bonefish Grill, fresh catch of the game. The new pitcher for the Rays, Sergio Romo. Pitch too wide. It's 2-0 now. Romo making his first appearance of the year. Going to work around a couple men aboard with one out. Fly ball center field, sending Kiermaier back. He's going to make the catch. Martinez tags, but he'll hang on in the one-hop throw to third. So 2 men on with 2 men out now as Nunez is retired.
Now you want to force that throw from Kevin Kiermaier, but you better be very careful if you're going to challenge him. Very strong and accurate arm, and when you allow him time to set up behind a fly ball, not going to be easy. Elite defender in many, many different ways.
Brock Holt. It's too low. Holt with a fly ball to left. He was caught looking in the 4th inning, but walked in the 6th. Two and 0. Holt can be very patient up there at the plate. Now he takes a strike, 2-1. Slices into the seats, and it's 2-2. Boston scored a run in the second on the Bogarts homer. Made it 2-0 when they picked up an unearned run in the fourth, and on back-to-back doubles in the sixth for Martinez and Bogarts. Made it 3-0. Rays did answer with a run in the sixth to cut the deficit to 2. And the Rays trying to hold the deficit right there at 2 with a couple shots left. Now the count is full. Full count, men at first and second. So they'll be off. Sandy Leon on deck. 35-year-old right-hander Sergio Romo. And he misses a bit wide right there with a fastball. And the bases will now be loaded for Leon. So Romo will face his third hitter. There's a strike.
Well, Sergio Romo has been in many situations like this. I mean, closer for the Giants. Needs to make a big pitch here. You get the feeling that this is the game for the Devil Rays here today.
Foul out of play. 0-2.
Change speeds, move the ball around, try to get Leon reaching. Great job of getting ahead of him here. 0-2.
Yeah, we saw that fastball mid-80s, but he'll do a couple different things with the slider.
Yeah, he does have a couple of different versions. The short, tight one for strikes, the ones he takes out of the zone, a little change-up.
Ball, 2 strikes.
And like I said, he's been here before. I mean, situations like this are not going to faze Sergio Romo. Understands what he wants to do, what he needs to do to get out of this inning.
And he got him. Strikes him out to leave the bases loaded. That's a big stop right there. Bottom of the 8th coming. 3-1 Boston. Celebrating the Devil Rays, the 1998 team here tonight. The inaugural team bringing Major League Baseball to Tampa Bay. Carlos Gomez goes after the first pitch, and there it goes. Out of here. That didn't take long. Red Sox leaving the young lefty in their pointer, and on the first pitch, Carlos Gomez hits it out of here to make it a one-run game. 3-2 now.
Well, we were talking about exactly this scenario before this inning started.
Yep.
I mean, the bullpen for the Red Sox was quiet. And so you know that Bobby Pointer's coming back out here. You know, Alex Cora had said after the first game of the series that he did not want him coming in these tight situations late in a ball game.
Well, the Rays have just made it a one-run game. And there's a ball to Brad Miller. Yeah, that was surprising, and we did have that conversation with Gomez coming up.
That's exactly what you said. You know, he is going to face Carlos Gomez. It took him one pitch.
He didn't face him long.
No, he didn't. Turned out very well for Tampa Bay.
2-0 the count now to Brad Miller. And a high popper coming in from first, Moreland, and he makes the catch. We'll take a look at Gomez. Boy, he didn't waste any time, jumped all over it.
I got an off-speed pitch. Look where it was, right up around the belt, middle of the plate. We talked about him being a power and speed guy. Right there, he's flexing his muscles, bringing the Rays to within one.
Well, they're going to make the pitching change now with one out and a one-run game. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by the Florida Lottery. And the pitching change. Pointer touch for the home run by Gomez. He got the high pop out of Miller. Carson Smith will enter the game with Matt Duffy due up. Duffy with a couple hits, 2 for 3 in this game. Smith worked 2/3 here on Thursday and took the loss in the 6-4 Rays win. Ground ball, that's headed up the middle into center field. And Duffy has a 3-hit night, 3 for 4, and the Rays have the potential tying run at first.
Well, last time it was the 5-6 hole. Now we're going to go 4-6, right back up the middle. Stay up the middle. Use that mound as a ramp and get that Ball out into center field. Rays making a move here late.
There's Joey Wendell. Well, he drove in a run for the Rays with a fly ball in the 6th. He's 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Wendell takes a fastball wide. 1-0. Colomé begins to loosen. Chaz Rowe had been up already. Ground ball, foul up the right side in front of Ozzie Timmons. 1-1 to count. Ozzie, the first base coach for the Rays. Tonight, the Devil Rays. Carlos Gomez drawing the Rays to within a run. And the breaking pitch is a strike. Now Wendell down 1-2. Balls, 2 strikes. Just with a slider. Echeverria on deck. Two. Foul the other way. Big right-hander. Carson Smith out there now for Boston. He's their 4th pitcher. Back in Duffy at first. Time over there. Wendell did get a look at Smith Thursday and grounded out to short. And is out on strikes right here. That pitch had some depth.
And that was the key. He'll pull the string a little bit, get it to the bottom of the zone, and get Wendell out and over the top of it. See, he's reaching. Everything just a little bit off balance. That was the design of the pitch, well executed by Smith. And the 2nd out.
Now Danny Echeverria. Echeverria looking for his first hit of the game. Strike 1. Walden, more action in the bullpen. The right-hander Marcus Walden up. And checking on Duffy, and he's back in.
Very concerned with Matt Duffy over there at first base. Realizing that a stolen base, an advancement, that much closer to tying this ball game up. So Carson Smith, a number of throws over there.
One more time. He is preoccupied with him. That belt, I'm not sure the other one broke. This one might just be just a little lighter to give him a little more speed.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be the full leather version.
Could make a difference. Any little edge. Back in. He was back quicker that time. It's down and away. Almost took off. 1-1.
Getting good shots of that belt.
That's right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ooh, that's going to be strike 2. In between there, might have had a slider on his mind. Yep. So now he's behind in the count. And another move to first.
Maybe another belt.
Duffy calling time to readjust everything over there. There he goes. Pitch is down and away, and there's no throw. A check swing by Echeverria. And after all of that, Duffy does steal second base. So he steals his way into scoring position here in the 8th, and that's the potential tying run.
Well, he got a very good jump, and in a 1-2 count, he's running on a breaking ball. That breaking ball pulled wide, and there's absolutely no chance to get him. So all of that attention paid, and it does not pay off for the Red Sox.
Way down and outside, full count to Echeverria. It's the lightweight belt, picking up the first steal of the year for Duffy. Smith and Leon talk it over. Charting all the visits. Five visits now remaining. 5 visits. Full count. Fly ball lifted into center. Benintendi is there making the catch to retire the side. Rays get the run on a home run by Carlos Gomez, and they've made it a 3-2 ball game now. We're headed into the 9th. Rays down by 1. The Red Sox leading 3-2 as Carlos Gomez belted his first home run of the year to make this a close one. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame presented by WB Mason. Rich Orestes and Doug anchor the coverage. We'll have the Kevin Cash press conference. Interviews from the clubhouse, courtesy of Michelle Margot. 98 Devil Rays recap here of the reunion. And here we go to the ninth. Mookie Betts leads off against Chaz Rowe. First pitch is down and away and skips to the backstop. Rowe was in the game for a third of an inning and eventually charged with a run in last night's game. That was the only run scored. As Price got the win and Rowe took the loss. Close here. 2-0. One. Well, the Rays have managed to stay close. Red Sox have not been without opportunities to add on. They're 1 for 12 with men in scoring position. Rowe promptly behind Betts, 3-1.
And you hang around, you give yourself a chance late. Obviously, we just saw Craig Kimbrell warming up, so it will not be easy.
And that's the last thing you want to do. Rowe walks Betts. 6 walks given up by Rays pitching tonight.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. And leadoff walks in a one-run game, and you're talking about the top of the order. Not ideal.
Yeah, the Rays have actually outhit the Red Sox 8-7. But they've given up all those walks. The Rays have drawn only 2. And so here's Benintendi. A couple of walks drawn by the Boston outfielder. Betts back in at first. More time over there. Day game tomorrow. Jake Faria scheduled to go against Hector Velasquez. Lifted into left. Alex Smith has it, 1 away. Here's the breakout from a year ago on the pitching matchup tomorrow. Velasquez 3-1 with a .292, and Jake Faria 5-4 for the Rays, covering 14 starts, a couple of relief appearances. We'll be with you on Fox Sports Sun. Coverage begins at 12:30. And a move to first. Betts in head first. Runner goes, got a very good jump. The throw is not in time. It turned out to be closer than you thought given the jump. But a steal nevertheless for Betts.
Well, Sucre up and out of there, and you're right, absolutely a tremendous jump. But Jesus Sucre got rid of that ball with a strong throw to Wendell. Good ball to handle, up and out of there. Little wasted movement.
Well, the Rays want them to look at that.
Well, you saw that looked like Joey Wendell almost able to keep that left hand. Watch Mookie Betts as he tries to get the left hand to the bag. Around the foot of Joey Wendell. And you know what? They have something here that may go the Rays' way. Because that hand trying to go around the left ankle never really quite gets there. He's right. He's off the bag. He's out. That's easy, and that'll be quick. He's absolutely out. That's a nice block there by Wendell. And that angle showed it as clear as day.
Yep. Well, if they wind up getting this second out, you got to credit Sucre and Wendell. But Sucre just saved that potential stolen base. And the Rays will prevail here. So Betts is caught trying to steal. And despite a great jump, Sucre's throw made it possible, and Wendell did everything else to record that second out on the caught stealing. So 2 gone with the bases empty now. And a big cut and a miss by Hanley Ramirez. Well, the Rays eliminate that base runner. Boy, what a difference that is. Man at second, 1 out. Nobody on, 2 outs. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Did he go? He did not on the appeal. It's Manny Gonzalez down there.
Chaz Rowe, good slider, tries to take this one off the plate. Boy, up there where it looked like out of the hand that Ramirez could handle it, and it just ran right off the plate, and he was able to hold up.
Be strong to hold up there.
Yeah. Especially, you know, those 2 strikes, you're looking to protect, you're looking to get things started.
2-2. Shot out there, and now we have a full count. Ramirez with a double and a run scored, also picking up a steal in this game. That turned out to be a big steal because he scored as a result of being at third. Now the 3-2. Fouled away. Three-two again. Pop up. Right in the middle, down the right side, and that's Sucre. Takes care of it in fair territory. Rays are going to come into bat in the bottom of the ninth. They're down by a run. Malik Smith will lead it off. Carlos Gomez connected to begin the bottom of the 8th to make it a 1-run game, and so the Rays come in to hit in the bottom of the 9th, down 3-2. They're going to face Craig Kimbrell, and we know how difficult that can be.
Boy, the Rays owe Craig Kimbrell.
It's about time. He came on yesterday, struck out the side. Phase 3 struck them all out, and that's what he's done. And look at that.
Yeah, 26 strikeouts out of the 31 hitters he's faced. I mean,
something's got to give,
right?
One would think.
Can't keep that pace up. It's big leagues.
So here's Malik Smith. C.J. Cron has moved into the on-deck circle. Up close at third, Nunez. Smith takes a strike. Alex singled in the 5th, trying to get on here in the 9th. Tough job against Kimbrell. Quickly down 0-2. That breaking ball has tremendous bite.
Well, he has such hand speed, and you obviously realize that when you look at the velocity on the fastball, the finish on the fastball, the way that he can kind of just run that ball up into the zone and come with the breaking ball to complement it.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, and everything with him is deliberate through his delivery, but boy, at the end does he fire towards home plate. Tremendous finish.
Fastball missing. 2-2.
And just about the time he gets you looking for that fastball up and out, here comes the hook.
He got a little piece of that one, and he did come back with it. Smith enough to foul it.
You're forced to make such a quick decision, and he changes your eye level with a couple of those fastballs, and now here comes a breaking ball right off of it, and you commit early, and it's too late. The ball's gone. That was a nice job by Malik to fight that pitch off. Looking for one mistake. A base runner, and a base runner with speed would be nice.
Yeah, there's ball 3. Almost got his back foot.
Almost looked like it did get that back shin.
Sure did.
There was a definite change of direction of that baseball.
And there is ball 4, a fastball that missed. And boy, you go 3-2 and take a fastball. That's pretty close. And a big walk by Malik Smith. The Rays with speed. That's close.
That's very close. Saw right at the bottom of that strike zone, and no, you hear here's your base runner, and here is your speed.
Our pinch hitter is C.J. Cron. Over to first. Malik's back in, and reaching over him is Moreland to take the peg. Cron struck out to end the game last night against Kimbrell when Kimbrell struck out the side. Low and away. See Leon out there to get in front of the curveball.
And that's going to be imperative with Malik Smith over there at first base. You think about him swiping a bag, opposing base stealers 4 out of 10 against Kimbrell a season ago. He did have one pickoff.
Again to first. Smith back in. Rays closed it to a run in the 8th. They left a man in second when Duffy singled with 1 out. Eventually stole second, but was left on base. Now in the 9th, the walk to Malik Smith. And a line drive going to be caught, and the throw back to first in time to double it up. And he was really caught in between there as to whether Bogaerts was going to try to short hop it or catch it on a line. And Malik's kind of in between. Is double off first.
Got caught in no man's land. This ball looks like it could bounce. Bogaerts ends up making the catch just off the dirt. And almost like Malix is waiting to see what the call's going to be. By the time he recognizes it, the throw's on its way, and Moreland's making the catch right over top of him.
Yes, indecision on that little liner that one way or the other he was caught in between. So the bases are empty. And now it's Denard Span. Pitch is down 1-0. One and one. Span is singled and walked. Rays down to their final out. 1-2. Foul back. One, two. Foul away. You know, we did see Kevin Cass go out and have a conversation with the umpires, and you take a look at that. Was he in there or not? And you know, there's a situation where Bogaerts, and he's out there. Bogaerts was in a position where he could make a choice to catch that ball, essentially trap it, or play it on short hop. But he's looking at full advantage either way.
And that's one of the trap play in the infield is a non-reviewable play. I mean, but you're right. That was just an unfortunate soft line drive, and you don't know, is that going to hit dirt? Is he going to catch it? And Malik's got caught.
A little pop on the infield. Bogaerts makes the catch, and this one is over. It's a 3-2 ball game. That's the final. The Rays got the leadoff walk, but lost the runner and leave nobody. And so it's a 3-2 Red Sox final, and they've taken 2 of the first 3 games now in this series. For Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast of Not the Outcome. Same 2 teams tomorrow. We'll see you then.